When this man goes on an amazing first date, he feels phenomenal. Everything went to plan, he had a great time, it was a fantastic night. However, later on, when lying in bed, scrolling on TikTok, he comes across a video from the girl he's just dated speaking about him, which changes everything. This is r/best of Redditor updates. I, a 26-year-old man, found her, a 28-year-old woman's TikTok after we went on a date. This is honestly not something I expected to post about, but here's the thing. I've known this woman for a while since we are in the same friend groups. She's a nice person, attractive, and honestly, I've always enjoyed my talks with her. A few weeks ago, I asked her out on a date. I figured if she says no, it's fine, but she actually agreed. We went on a date this past Saturday, and honestly, I thought it was awesome. We went out to dinner, had drinks, spent the rest of the night talking, and we even took a walk on a walking bridge over the town's lake. It's not a big one. I dropped her off and was elated. I absolutely loved the night. However, that night when I was scrolling through TikTok on my bed, a post from her, I didn't follow nor knew she had a TikTok at that point, appeared on my For You page. Essentially, she said in the video, "Getting ready for a date I really don't want to go on." That was like a bucket of ice water being thrown on my head. I was so freaking happy, and I just found out she didn't even want to go on a date with me. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying she has to want it, but please let me know if that's the case. We don't need to go out. We can forget I even asked her out. But doing this on the internet, it made me self-conscious. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Now I'm unsure about what to do. Should I tell her I saw this or just forget about it? Honestly, it really hurt me, and I'm not really sure I want to give this another try. I mean, she didn't want to go out with me in the first place, right? Wow, that is a really tough situation, but without further ado, let's get into the update. This was posted just a week later. Hello everyone. Some people have reached out to me through comments or chats asking for an update on the situation. Sadly, there isn't much to share at the moment, but I'll provide what I can. Please keep in mind that I won't be discussing this further, nor will I reply to comments. Thank you for your understanding. After last week's post, I read almost every comment, or at least most of them. I'm thankful to all those who commented and shared a bit of their own personal story. Some people mentioned that anxiety is normal and feeling like not going out is definitely common, suggesting that I shouldn't look too much into it. While I agree with their perspective and see no fault in not feeling like going out, what bothered me the most in this situation was having to post a TikTok for a significant audience. I am a private person by nature, and even my social media accounts, like Instagram, only have one single post. I don't really like to overtly share, nor do I want to be with somebody who does. It's completely fine to share whatever you want, I just don't want to be a part of it. So, I decided not to contact her. I chose to pretend I'd never seen the post and let things be. I understand a lot of people might think this isn't the best choice, but I feel it's the best course for both of us. Last Thursday, a few friends who also happened to know her invited me for drinks. We went to a bar, and while we were eating and enjoying our drinks, a mutual friend asked me how my date went, as our circle was aware that we were going on a date. I didn't want to say much, so I just replied, "Oh, it was good, but I don't think we clicked." This friend followed it by saying, "We figured," which made me feel rather uneasy. When I asked what he was talking about, he hesitated, but eventually said that they had seen a TikTok post from her about not wanting to go out. At this point, I didn't really know what to say. This situation is just incredibly messy for me, but there's not much I can do about it. Still, I wasn't going to mention it, nor did I try to look up if there was any update on her part. In fact, I deleted TikTok after that incident. It just wasn't doing me any good. Nevertheless, this past Saturday, she sent me a text. She mentioned that she enjoyed our date and asked if I wanted to go out again. I understand that she clearly stated that she enjoyed our time together. However, I don't want to be with someone who exposes so much of their personal life. It's not something that would be good for me. So I decided to tell her the truth, and I sent a text explaining that while I absolutely enjoyed our date, her company, and that I thought she was an amazing woman, her post from the night of our date came across my For You page on TikTok, and it made me feel really self-conscious. While I understand that she enjoyed the date, contrary to what she felt at the time of the post, I didn't feel comfortable going out with someone who had such a high level of exposure online. I wished her the best and expressed hope that she finds someone whose lifestyle aligns with hers. She has read the message and left me on read ever since. I don't think she'll reply, and I don't think we'll have a lot of social interactions going forward. I'm sorry if this wasn't the update you guys were expecting, but yeah, sadly, that's what the situation became. Anyhow, I wish everyone a good day. Okay, wow, what a post to start things off. First of all, I've got to say that usually I try and keep my comments relatively short and concise on these episodes, but I have so much personal stuff to say about this that I don't think this is going to be short. First of all, I literally know someone who's been in this exact position before. It's actually one of my good friend's brothers, and yeah, he was in this exact spot, dating someone who posted about their dates and, well, her dates with him on TikTok. It's a very, very weird spot. I mean, this person has quite a few thousand followers. We're talking tens of thousands here. This is a relatively big account. And yeah, he knew that after going on a date with her or texting her or, you know, just his feelings towards her or her feelings towards him, it was going to be public through her TikTok account. And that was obviously pretty weird. It was also weird for us, right? Watching these videos from her. She's American and he lives in America. But yet we were given an insight into their dating life. It was just a bit strange given that we knew the person that she was talking about. Now, if you don't know who that person is, maybe it's interesting. I can hold my hands up here. However, linking this back to the story I've just read, from OP's perspective, I don't think it's a very comfortable position to be in when you going on a pretty intimate date, you know, a personal thing, yet the person you're doing that with is spreading everything or telling everyone online about it. Now look, I know that there is a big audience for that. I completely understand it, and it's very popular, that sort of content. But I agree with OP. It's not the best thing, I think, to have somebody just spreading that information online. I don't know. I kind of agree. For me personally, I don't give out too much information about myself online, if I'm being pretty honest. I actually don't give out that much at all. Yeah, you know, I have an Instagram account, I have a Twitter, but those aren't that public really. I mean, they are public, but they're not super public. I'm not like posting stories every day about what I'm doing. I'm not kind of necessarily telling you lot all the time how I'm feeling or like my dating life or that sort of stuff. It's just not what I kind of want to do, because I feel like it's important to keep that sort of stuff separate. I don't know. People do that sort of stuff and people love it. It's just probably not for me. Now, going back to OP here, I think that the way he's handled this is really, really mature, and it's actually a great reason for not continuing to see this person. And I'd like to think that if I felt the same way, which I might, I feel like I'm more inclined not to, because I get this sort of industry, but you never know. I wouldn't want someone saying, oh, this date was good, oh, my boyfriend's really annoying me, doing a video about all that stuff, to be honest. So I might, but yeah, by saying, look, we had a great date, I appreciate the fact that, you know, maybe you had reservations before or not, or I like the fact that you said you wanted to go on another date, all good. I don't want to be in a relationship with somebody or see somebody that is posting so much stuff publicly about just me and you. I think that's a very, very valid point. But if you think about it, right, his friends saying to him, yeah, we figured. They've seen the video. I mean, that kind of epitomizes the whole notion of what OP is saying, right? You don't want other people, you don't want your friends knowing about that sort of stuff. You don't want other people knowing. You don't want strangers knowing. It's just weird, isn't it? It's just so strange, and yeah, I think you made the right decision. Now for our next best of post. Would I be the jerk for not telling my husband I'm pregnant until after he's back from his trip? My husband is a stay-at-home dad to our 4-year-old daughter. He is an extremely devoted and loving dad who has barely spent any time away from her, and she is a major daddy's girl. In 2 weeks, he's going to his best friend from college for a whole week. He's going to be reuniting with his college friends that he hasn't seen or spent time with altogether since our own wedding. He originally wanted the 3 of us to go, but I convinced him to just go himself, because I think being alone would make him enjoy it more, so he doesn't have to do childcare. I think our daughter is too young for that big of a trip for people she's only met once. Also, I'm planning on taking a week off work and would love to spend one-on-one time with her that we so rarely get. This morning, I learned that I am pregnant. We've been trying for some time now and really want lots of kids, so I'm over the moon, and I know that my husband and daughter will be too. I've not told my husband yet. My first pregnancy, he was a huge prepper, and when I first learned I was pregnant, he went into overdrive with preparing, researching, and taking care of me. He was incredibly helpful and loving, and it was so sweet, but he also really worked himself up and got stressed. I don't think it'll be as bad with this one, but I could still see it being a lot. I honestly don't really want to tell him until after his trip, in 3 weeks, even though it's a huge secret for me to keep. I think he'll potentially be upset, which with him is very, very tame, when he finds out that I'd known for 3 weeks, but he would get over it fast. My concern with telling him is I could honestly see it ruining his trip. I can just imagine the constant texts asking me questions for the millionth times or sharing his most recent thoughts. I really, really want him to have a chill and fun trip and be able to decompress. And for myself, I want to be able to just focus on having a great time with my girl. But I also don't want to just hide something so hugely important to our family from him, since he obviously deserves to know. I can't really decide. Would I be the jerk if I decided to wait to tell him until after his trip? Okay, so before we get into the update here, first of all, a couple of relevant comments from the original comments section. Someone has said, "No, you're not the jerk, but definitely don't tell anyone else before him." I completely agree with that. The logic here does make sense from OP. I think that's completely fine. But yeah, you cannot tell anyone else because that is when it would get unfair. OP replies, "Oh yeah, I'm definitely not telling anyone else. That's why I'm asking Reddit for advice on this and not friends or family." Yeah, that does make sense. Although I may tell my daughter right before he gets home because I'm loving all of the surprise suggestions that I'm seeing, especially with her wearing a big sister shirt. That is a good shout. Someone else has replied to that saying, "I love the big sister shirt. If she's not reading yet, you can have her help you make it, then tell her when she's putting it on to show him that it has a secret message for daddy to read out loud to her. They can both get a surprise at the same time." That is genius. Oh my word. She can blurt out when she sees him that her shirt has a secret message for him, and she won't know ahead of time what it is. Oh, that is so clever. And OP has replied that she absolutely loves this. This is absolutely what she's going to do. Thank you so much. What a great idea that is. Okay, so now for the update, which came 6 days later. So I hadn't planned to give an update so soon, but even though I planned on waiting until after my husband's trip, after a few days it became clear to me that I could not wait that long. He definitely knew something was up with me. I've been getting crazy excited and been chomping at the bit to tell him, and honestly it just didn't feel good to keep something that big from him for so long. We've been trying for this baby for close to a year now, and it's such happy news, and I decided it's just not worth it. But I still wanted to give him the surprise I had planned. I asked him to go out to the store to grab something really quick, and before he got home, I had my daughter put a shirt I'd got on her that had "Only Child" crossed out with "Big Sister" written underneath. When he came through the front door, she sprinted to him, yelling about how her shirt had a secret message for him. He was very taken aback, and it took him a second, but once it clicked, he was beyond excited, as was our very confused daughter once we told her. She started dancing around the house, singing about having a baby sister, which she is adamant it will be, and it was just a really good day. He's still going on his trip and has not been even close to as stressed as he was last time. If anything, he's looking forward to it even more now because he knows it's going to be a last chance to really decompress before things become a whole lot crazier. Thank you so much everyone for all of the lovely comments and responses that I got. I really appreciated them. I showed my husband the post and admitted my original plans, and he got a big kick out of it, but he's very glad that I told him before the trip. Thanks again. Well, there we go. If you were after some wholesome content today, that's it. You just got it. That was just a beautiful story. I just love that. Sometimes Reddit can be a pretty toxic and negative place, but it's good to remind ourselves that a lot of good stuff does also exist on the website like that. That was wonderful. I mean, honestly, like the amount of stuff, you guys know this, the amount of stuff I read about entitled parents, like entitled kids, just rude people and terrible people in general. Then you come across a family like this where, you know, even on a subreddit like Am I the Jerk, sometimes a lot of the posts are kind of negative, or you're like, yeah, this is kind of not great anyway. I mean, some people are in the wrong here, some people are not entirely sure. This is just someone genuinely asking, should I tell him now or later? Because either way, it's going to be an amazing thing, but could I potentially make something that's going to be amazing as well, his trip away, a little bit worse? Just great. Just like a healthy relationship, a lovely family, very enjoyable stuff. I agree with you as well, OP. I think that, you know, it wouldn't be as stressful this time. I'll try and put myself in that situation. Obviously, it's tough because I'm not a father. However, one day I may well be, and I think if I am to become a father twice, the second time would be a lot less stressful. I can imagine myself being a little bit like OP the first time, just wanting to make sure everything's okay, being, you know, on top of stuff, asking loads of questions, trying to sort things out. But I feel like once you've done it once, the second time is a lot easier and you know more what you're doing. So yeah, I reckon he's going to enjoy the holiday a lot. Anyway, guys, that is going to do it for this one. Really hope you enjoyed that wholesome story to end things off. I certainly did. I needed that. That was glorious. If you enjoyed it as well, drop a like on this one, comment your thoughts on both these posts down below as always, and I will see you guys tomorrow for some more Reddit stories.